All right, we're gonna be changing this out. This is a master cylinder, and the other one is the power booster, brake booster, all on the F150. So we'll start off by taking this nut loose, that nut loose at the back for the thing here, so that way it's still tight. Then the two opposite sides, unplug that one. Also unplug the vacuum. Then on the inside, you're gonna have a clip and four nuts. They're up in this section here. 1, 2, and on this side here, 3 and 4 at the top. So, and then the clip and the wire off the lights for the brakes, the sensor, and see how that goes. All right, I started off by loosening up the these two lines here. It has a separate section here. It's an adapter to go down to this small size. You just have to transfer it over to the new one, and I'll double check and make sure it's not one in there. There's one nut back here. I took that one off. On this side, has the same nut. All it does is holds back here, but then it has a bracket in between two nuts. Another nut just holds onto the bracket. So you get these 3 nuts here. It's 14 millimeter, but 14 millimeter works, but it's actually 9/16. So now that I have this off, I can move it. If you didn't have to change out the power booster, you would just move this aside, and that would be all you'd need to do. Take this loose and you'd be done putting it back together. Let me go ahead and start taking out the rest and get back with you. All right, that's what it looks like when you take it off. My leakage was basically just from the master cylinder, but I'm changing out everything. Now, do not get this fluid on your paint. And this is the adapter you have to transfer over. That's what it's just leaking from. Do not let that touch your paint or wash it off immediately. Don't let it sit, else it'll just take the paint off like stripper. All right. This is the sensor for the brake, the lights to come on. It sits like that on the brake booster. These just sit just like this, like act like bearings, and then you have this to lock it in. On this piece goes through a little nipple on the brake arm. Got your 4 bolts, nuts, and that's it. Everything uses the 9/16. So once that's off, this thing is basically off. That's it. Well, let me go clean up. Okay, what I'm gonna do is clean up this area here. It's like surface rust off the brake fluid leaking. Cleaned up real good. They don't have, on this one, they used this cap. On the new one, all it has is this little rubber, but it's smaller than the hole. So what I'm gonna do is put a bead of silicone all the way around it. Take some of the painter's tape, put it around here because I don't want it to stick to the truck permanently. Then lock it down, let the silicone heal up a little bit. I'm not using a real high dollar one. It's just one just to keep it from leaking water in here. If anybody has these older vehicles, just about all the brands, water gets in wherever it can. So I'll go back and clean up and show y'all later. That's what I got right now. I'm just gonna cut the outside afterwards, or I'll just leave it. It really doesn't matter then. It can be torn off. All right. I put some anti-seize on all the bolts, the 4 bolts in the back. Put the bead of silicone. Now, it came with new nuts, so that's good. I don't have to worry about the old ones. So I'll go ahead and tighten it up. The only thing different I'm doing in here, I put a small amount of grease on it. You can use Vaseline or anything just to help it, stay smooth. And the anti-seize is on the bolts up there, and that's where that shaft goes back in. Everything goes back in right there. So that's it on the inside, and then I'll be on the outside. All right, I took that piece out. The adapter, this is it here. I'm just gonna put on a new O-ring and put it back in. It's 22 millimeter to take this piece out. The new nuts are all 14, so they work just with the regular automotive stuff. These are the old school, that standard that old school used to use. Now, just for me to put this back on and then swap out my vacuum adapter right there to the new one that they got right there, and I should be fine. And then go down to bleeding it. I don't know if I'll bleed it today because I won't be using the truck for the whole week, so I might just skip that till the weekend coming. But if I do, it'll still be on the same video. What I did here, I put some dielectric grease in here for the connection, and inside here I put some grease so I don't have metal to metal, no noises. And I'm going to be putting just on the threads that's going in this section here some anti-seize, just the threads. All right, I'll be back. All right, for some reason they sent you 2 nuts, but you took off 3. So I'm going to be using one of the ones from inside the vehicle to make that number 3, because these 3 are rusted real bad. So that's the only thing that you have to be aware of. Don't throw away your nuts. All right, I'll put it on and then start getting everything back together. All right, I just decided to just go ahead and do everything. It didn't take that long to do it to begin with. So you fill this up with brake fluid past it max, because you're going to have to bleed it. Make sure you have a big bottle, because it's going to take a lot. And if you let air get back in here, the process is all back over again. You can use the vacuum pump, like I said, or you can have a second person, which I don't have a second person, or get a water bottle, put some fluid in it, and put a line on the nipple of the brakes to that water bottle. Make sure the line stays below the brake fluid, and just pump it and make sure this doesn't get too low, and you'll be fine. Okay, that's my favorite system to use. I just have a rubber hose, the same one that goes onto your washer, on the little nozzle to spray water up to the windshield. It comes down, goes to the bottom of this bottle, and see, you don't have to do anything. If you pump it, it's way quicker. But I can just sit here and let it just drain out everything. It was putting out bubbles. Now it's a dirty fluid that's coming out. So I'll go ahead and pump it maybe once, twice, and then close it up. Right now the nipple here is broke loose. So I go ahead and do that. This is the right hand side of the vehicle rear. All right, I pumped it 4 times, and you can see the old fluid to the top. Let me get somewhere right here, and the clear one, which is a fresh one, I put in there at the bottom. Now, you don't want it to go up too high, or then it just makes a mess. So I'll go ahead to the left rear now. Okay, you didn't have to take off the wheel, but it's something else I wanted to look at in the back. I was hearing a grinding, but it looked like it's my rear drums need to be changed out now. But the nipple for this one is right there. And what I ended up doing is pumping each one about 8 to 10 times, and then just make sure you get back up here. What I did, I put it back in about the spot where I think it should be, because my rear brakes might need to be changed out soon. And when I check that, crank it back in, it should bring some of that fluid back up. But if it doesn't, then I add. But push on it, and it is solid. I mean, it feels better than my new car. So that's it. I'm just going to put on the wheel now. And that's it for the F-150 for the day. One more thing I need to add is some of the components I'll be changing out. The pulley, the tensioner will be changed out. This belt, it's been ate away for over 2 years. But I'll be changing those out, and the water pump. But it might not be next weekend, because I have other things to do next weekend. But thanks for watching anyway. Come back and watch, share the video if you can. Keep these old trucks running.